Our bodies rely on a vast network of highways called arteries. These vessels are responsible for carrying oxygen-rich blood from the heart to every single part of our body, from our brain down to our toes. Think of them as clean, open roads that allow traffic to flow smoothly and efficiently. When these roads are clear, our organs get the fuel they need to function properly, keeping us healthy and active. This system works quietly in the background, day in and day out, sustaining life itself. A healthy circulatory system is truly the foundation of our overall well-being, ensuring every cell receives its vital supply of oxygen and nutrients without interruption. The problem begins when these highways start to get clogged. A sticky substance called plaque, which is made up of cholesterol, fat, and other materials, can build up on the inner walls of the arteries. This condition is known as atherosclerosis. Over many years, this buildup can harden and narrow the arteries, making it much more difficult for blood to pass through. It is a slow, silent process that often shows no symptoms until a major blockage occurs. This gradual narrowing is like a traffic jam that gets worse over time, slowly starving vital organs of the blood they desperately need to survive and function correctly. When an artery becomes severely narrowed or completely blocked, the consequences can be life-threatening. If a blockage occurs in an artery leading to the heart, it can cause a heart attack. The heart muscle, deprived of oxygen, begins to die. Similarly, if the blockage happens in an artery that supplies blood to the brain, it can lead to a stroke, which can cause permanent brain damage, disability, or even death. This is why we call atherosclerosis a silent killer. The danger isn't just the blockage itself, but the sudden and catastrophic events that it can trigger without any prior warning, turning a seemingly normal day into a medical emergency. The statistics surrounding this issue are truly staggering, making it one of the most significant public health challenges we face today. Cardiovascular diseases, which are largely caused by blocked arteries, remain the leading cause of death globally. Millions of lives are affected every year, not just through fatalities, but also through long-term disability and a reduced quality of life for survivors. Understanding the profound danger of these blockages is the first step in appreciating why scientists and engineers are working so tirelessly to find better, safer, and more effective ways to keep our internal highways clear and our bodies running smoothly. For decades, doctors have relied on several key procedures to deal with dangerously blocked arteries. One of the most common treatments is angioplasty. During this procedure, a doctor threads a thin tube or catheter with a tiny balloon on its tip through a blood vessel, usually in the arm or groin. They guide it to the site of the blockage. Once in position, the balloon is inflated, which compresses the plaque against the artery walls, widening the vessel and restoring blood flow. Often a small mesh tube called a stent is left behind to help prop the artery open and prevent it from narrowing again in the future. Another established method is called an atherectomy. This procedure is a bit more direct in its approach to removing the plaque. Instead of just pushing the plaque aside, an atherectomy uses a specialized catheter equipped with a tiny rotating shaver, a laser, or another cutting device on its tip. The doctor navigates this device to the blockage and then carefully scrapes, drills, or vaporizes the plaque away. The goal is to physically remove the obstruction from the artery, creating a clearer path for blood to flow. This technique can be particularly useful for harder, calcified plaque that might not respond as well to the simple pressure of a balloon angioplasty. While these traditional treatments have saved countless lives and are considered medical marvels, they are not without their risks and downsides. Both angioplasty and atherectomy are invasive procedures. There is always a risk of damaging the artery wall during the process, which could lead to serious complications. Sometimes the plaque that is dislodged can break free and travel to a smaller blood vessel, causing a blockage elsewhere in the body. Furthermore, in the case of angioplasty with stenting, there is a possibility of scar tissue forming around the stent over time, causing the artery to narrow again, a condition known as restenosis. The recovery period and the potential for these complications are significant concerns for both patients and doctors. Following the procedure, patients often require medication to prevent blood clots from forming around the stent. They also face a period of recovery and must be monitored for any adverse effects. The search for a less invasive, lower-risk alternative has been a major goal in cardiovascular medicine. The ideal solution would be one that can effectively clear a blockage without the same level of trauma to the blood vessel, reducing the chances of complications and allowing for a much faster and smoother recovery for the patient. Imagine a future where clearing a clogged artery is no longer a major surgical event, but a precise robotic mission happening inside your body. This is the vision behind a futuristic concept from the engineering company, Dahir Insaat. They have designed a miniature, self-propelled robot that is intended to navigate through our blood vessels to find and eliminate dangerous cholesterol blockages. This device is not a pill or a standard surgical tool. It is a microscopic machine designed to act like a tiny plumber for our arteries. The excitement around this idea comes from its potential to completely change how we approach one of the world's biggest health problems, making treatment safer and more effective. The proposed device works with incredible precision. According to the animated concept, the tiny robot would be inserted into a major artery, such as the femoral artery in the leg, through a small incision. From there, it would travel through the circulatory system, guided by a doctor using a real-time camera mounted on the device. When it reaches the site of the blockage, the robot gets to work. It has a tiny, drill-like head that is designed to carefully scrape or grind away the plaque buildup. The key here is its ability to remove the obstruction piece by piece, rather than just compressing it against the artery walls as an angioplasty balloon does. One of the most innovative aspects of the design is how it handles the debris. As the robot grinds away the plaque, it simultaneously suctions up the tiny particles, preventing them from floating downstream and causing a new blockage in a smaller vessel. This is a critical safety feature that addresses one of the major risks associated with traditional atherectomy procedures. By cleaning as it goes, the robot aims to leave behind a perfectly clear and undamaged artery. The entire process is designed to be controlled externally by a surgeon who watches the robot's progress on a screen, ensuring it only removes the plaque and doesn't harm the delicate artery wall. The potential benefits of such a technology are enormous. Because it would be a minimally invasive procedure, it would drastically reduce risk and physical trauma to the patient. There would be no need for a large surgical incision or general anesthesia. Recovery times could be significantly faster, allowing patients to return to their normal lives much sooner. By physically removing the plaque instead of just squashing it, the device could offer a more permanent solution and reduce the need for stents. This exciting concept paints a picture of a future where treating blocked arteries is a routine, low-risk procedure, much like a diagnostic scan. It is incredibly important to understand that, as of today in mid-2025, the Dahir Insaat cholesterol-clearing robot is still a concept. The videos and descriptions that have captured the public's imagination are animations and design proposals, not footage of a real medical procedure. Currently, there is no evidence that the device has been built, tested on animals, or used in any human clinical trials. It exists as an exciting idea, a blueprint for what the future of cardiovascular medicine could look like. While the concept is brilliant and addresses many real-world problems, it has not yet made the critical leap from the drawing board to the operating room. Before a revolutionary device like this can ever be used on patients, it must go through a long and rigorous process of testing and validation. The first step would be to create a working prototype that can be tested in a laboratory setting. Engineers would need to prove that the device can navigate, drill, and suction as designed in a simulated environment. After that, it would have to undergo extensive testing in animal models to ensure it is both safe and effective. Researchers would need to collect data showing that the robot can clear blockages without causing damage to the arteries or other unintended side effects. If the animal trials are successful, the next stage would be carefully controlled human clinical trials. These trials are conducted in phases, starting with a small group of volunteers to test for safety, and then expanding to larger groups to confirm its effectiveness compared to existing treatments. Regulators like the FDA in the United States would scrutinize every piece of data to ensure the benefits of the new device clearly outweigh any potential risks. This entire process, from prototype to regulatory approval, is incredibly expensive and can easily take a decade or more to complete successfully, with no guarantee of a final positive outcome. Ultimately, the journey for the Dahir Insaat robot is just beginning. The concept has sparked an important conversation and pushed the boundaries of what we can imagine for medical technology. However, its real-world impact remains to be seen. The next few years will be critical. The world will be watching to see if the company can produce real-world data, publish peer-reviewed studies, and move this fascinating animation into the realm of tangible science. Only after clearing all these hurdles could this tiny robot become the game-changing treatment for blocked arteries that so many people hope for.